Hi, it's Ileana. So, I've noticed some weird trends going on, and it's a little disturbing to me. There's a psychic, also a Nora reader. She claims to be a doctor who is doing scans or reading scans and telling people that they're in the SSP in my labs. And she's naming off all the groups. She's like listing off all the SSP groups and the corporations. You've been in this one, you've been in that one, da 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 da. So, this is a new trend, as if it's popular to be in the secret space programs, which it's not, or in any of these corporations. It's hideous. But if somebody tells people something that's not true, that they haven't never been in these programs or corporations, it's playing with people's minds. It's hurting people's psyches when you give somebody information that's not true, when it's not even in their soul record. So I think that's a dangerous slope. So honestly, sometimes seeing an aura reader or a psychic, if they're telling you something that does not resonate with you and that does not read true to you from what they're giving you in a report, MP3, video, psychic reading, if it does not resonate with you, it doesn't. It likely never happened. So please, guys, use discernment, because honestly, psychics can pick up a lot of stuff from people's soul fields. Things that they see in the soul record that could be past lives, that's not SSP, secret space program. So what this aura reader did pick up, they said it's SSP. One of my people that I know contacted me and asked me, well, what is this? I said, this is from 2 past lives on Mars. It's not current SSP stuff, because I didn't read that they're SSP. So, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't read you that you've been in the SSP. I don't see that in the soul record. And I'll always be honest. If I don't see something, I'll say, I don't see that in your soul record. So if somebody hasn't been in the SSP, I won't say they have, just because somebody's making this a trend that it's a popular thing to be in the SSP. It's horrible. It's torturous. It's disgusting. People who get inducted into the secret space programs, they suffer. They have PTSD. They have alters quite a bit. They have anxiety. They have health issues, various health issues. So when you tell somebody that they've been in all these programs and all these corporations, that they've been enslaved and infested with AI, they have implants that they don't have, goodness, and that they've been cloned when they've never been cloned, that they've been sex kitten programmed when that's never happened to them. It could be traumatic for a person who might think that this is all real, that this actually happened to them, and when it never happened to somebody. So that could be very dangerous. So there's even psychics, aura readers, galactic soul readers. Just use discernment when you go to these people for a reading or a healing or an aura reading. Again, there's all kinds of mediums. Some of them are very good. Some of them are okay. Some of them are decent. Some of them are fantastic and give accurate readings. But there's all kinds of gradients of people with talent or ability. I would say even I'm a psychic myself, and I'm a healer, but even I have a healthy discernment factor. Whatever psychics may tell me, I choose to check in with my own inner self to see if that information is real or not to me and how I process it. If I don't resonate with it on a soul level, that this never happened to me, or that I wasn't part of something, that I didn't participate in something that somebody else told me that I did, I'm not going to believe something just because somebody told it to me that happened to me. If it does not vibrate with me, if I don't resonate with it, then I don't take it in. I don't accept it as truth because that never happened to me. Just because somebody tells you something that they've seen you in a past life together, or, a psychic or somebody told you something, if you don't resonate with it, you don't take it into the soul field. You don't have to believe everything that you're being told by somebody or what you hear from other people. Use your own discernment to know your own truth. Really check with your inner self. And I told my friend, look, this is what I agree on with what the psychic told you. This is true, this is true, this is not true. It does not resonate as something that's not even in your own soul field in terms of the SSP stuff and the corporations listed and some of the other stuff that I just mentioned. This person is not being gang stalked, they're not being attacked, they don't have AI controlling them, they don't have a bunch of implants that connect them to evil. That does not resonate with me, that this is not happening to the person, and I know this person pretty well. So it's not in their soul record, it's not happening to them. So I guess this aura reading with my labs, SSP, and soul connections to past lives and other things, some of it was resonating as truth, and some of it was not resonating as truth in this MP3 report. So again, it's a 50-50 mixture of results, some accurate things and some very not accurate. And I was asked to give my true thoughts and psychic impressions of this other aura reader's report, which I did. And honestly, it was a mixture of 50-50. And honestly, I'll say this particular practitioner has involved me in some of their own work. And they said that they gave me a reading without my permission. And what was in that reading was not true. It was all BS. And they do these videos about other people, character assassination videos, saying all kinds of heinous things, which is not even in the person's auric field. It's not true. So I went in, I said to myself, okay, we're going in with this experiment. We're going to see, my friend is going to order, the reading. And my friend had done a psychic reading, 3-hour reading with me before, a month before, ordering this particular reading with this person whose name I will not mention. I've talked about them before and what happened, so I'm not going to mention their name. If people want to know about that, it's in the videos. But again, the moral of the story here is just use your discernment when working with anyone on anything. Honestly, if you don't resonate with something. That's okay. That's using your own intuitive decision-making skills to make choices. So I did get to hear this reading, this aura reading, the scan. There's no information about how the scan is even done. Is it done psychically? Is it done with an aura reading device? What is it done with? There's no information about that. But okay, it gives you a list of what it checks for, and this practitioner allows you to ask some questions. Okay, I thought I'll go in with an open mind, even though I don't think this practitioner is very ethical, but whatever. Just because they involved me in something I find inappropriate and despicable, Okay, let's see how they do as an actual practitioner with active paying clients. Let's test them out. So I got to hear this report, and some of that person's information, the practitioner's information, um, about the client was accurate, because that stuff also came up in my reading about personal things and past life things and people associated with that person. Some of the things came up in my own reading too, which I said, yes, this is accurate because it came up in my reading as well. And I said it's valid. Yes, this I agree with. And some other things came up in this practitioner's report that are accurate in terms of what my friend actually needs for health stuff to help her with her health. So what was accurate, I agree. I said, yes, that's true. I read it as truth. It does come up, and it's similar to what came up in your session. And this is what I don't resonate with, don't agree. It reads as false to me about the SSP stuff. And there's some past life stuff that's being mixed up as SSP. So I honestly wrote a response to my friend and my client, who's both, and I said, this is accurate, this is not accurate. And I said, have a look at the information, see what resonates with you and what doesn't as your truth, what comes up to you for you as truth. What, if you think the SSP stuff is real for you, okay, it might resonate with you. With me, it didn't as truth. It did not resonate as being in the soul record, in the actual soul record of this person. And I honestly told them it does not resonate. And they had asked me the question in our session, have I ever been in the SSP? And I said, in your soul record, I don't see you as having ever been SSP, current or past. So, what one psychic sees, another might not. That's something else. Not every answer that a psychic gives you is going to be the same as what somebody else told you if you've gone to another practitioner, because even psychics see things through their own lens and perspective. I try not to do that. I'm very neutral in what I see as part of the soul field, what's in people's Akashic records, what's in their soul essence. I'm very neutral. This is what I see in your record, and this is what I tell you that I see. I don't try to put any personal biases, or I don't try to put it through a filter or a lens of any type. That's not what a psychic does. A psychic looks at what's in the soul field and gives you an honest answer of what they see. Whether it resonates with you is one thing. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm very neutral. If it resonates with a person, okay. If it doesn't, I say that's fine too, because every person has a free will choice to make decisions what resonates, what doesn't. I just don't want to see people being hurt with being told information that might not be true in what's in their soul record and what's not. So this is something I'm very careful about. And even I have a healthy skepticism about the work that I do. That's why I'm neutral. What I see is what I see in the soul record. I also do remote viewings, galactic soul readings, psychic readings, channeling, and I'm always careful. I won't tell the person that they have something when they don't, or vice versa. I won't do it. I do follow sort of what is called the prime directive of non-interference. I don't interfere in people's lives. I never will. And I'll never tell people something that I think would be a lie, because that would be unethical. I don't do that as a psychic. I try to have morals and some ethics. And also I practice the natural law of do no harm to others. Don't hurt people physically or emotionally. Because again, what psychics can tell people can hurt them emotionally and physically if they actually believe something that's not true, that they're being told. So that also comes into this area of psychic readings, aura readings, scans, reports. Honestly, it depends on who you work with as a practitioner. How honest that person is, are they qualified for it? Can they do the work? Are they well trained in it? In the psychic work and the healing work, that's so important to verify that these people are actually qualified to do the work and how they do it. So that's what I look for when I work with practitioners. All those things. And when they give me answers to something, I actually put it through my own filters of true, false, or something in between, real, unreal. I don't just take it at somebody else's word that what they told me is the facts until I check the facts for myself, do the work, do the evidence work, see what's going on. Again, I have my own ways of remote viewing, psychically looking at something. And for my client, I actually put some of the questions and answers through a pendulum reading. And it came back neutral swing. Not a yes answer, but not completely a no answer too. And when you get a neutral swing, I used a rose quartz pendulum. Was the person in the SSP? I got a neutral swing, not a yes, not a no, something in between. And same for the Mars stuff. When their information came up about what I think is two past lives on Mars and stuff in space, it came back it not being in the SSP as events happening in the SSP, but something else. Not a yes nor a no answer, something in between. When you have something in between, it could be related to past lives, it could be related to parallel lifetimes being experienced. It could be something other than SSP. Just because you were involved in something on Mars with piloting, navigation, crafts, does not necessarily signify that it's secret space program. It could be other things existing in your soul record from past lives. Mars has had a lot of different things happening there that's related to past life stuff that can seem like SSP currently going on, but it's something different, which this was. This is what I saw, and I told my friend and client that. So it's quite interesting, even what this other practitioner said in the report. Perhaps I think it could be useful for my client. Actually, and I said, I agree with some of the things in that person's report that they're accurate, and some things are not accurate, and I don't agree with because I see it as false information. What I saw as truth, I said that's true. What I see as false, I said that's false from a psychic perspective, from my impressions. And even what I thought, just as a practitioner, what my honest thoughts were on some things, just from personal experience. And just a very neutral response as well. So in terms of it being an energy healer, that's what I said from personal experience, just doing a quick body scan on the person, and if I saw the things in the report that actually matched up as true, I said, yes, that's true, based on the body scan. So that's what I mean to clarify, as from personal experience, because I'm also a medical intuitive, and I do energy body scans to see what's in balance, what's in alignment in the body, and what's out of alignment, what's blocked, what needs healing. I do those kinds of sessions as well. Medical intuitive energy body scans. So I can tell you what supplements, vitamins you might need, what else is going on in the body. And I told it to my client and friend. that I agreed with some of the medical stuff that the other practitioner said that they need to work on and improve. I said, yes, that reads as truth. I see it happening in your body, and yeah, that's a good idea to address this. So a lot of different things were covered in a MP3 audio report that was 14 minutes and 50 seconds. So, and my reports, I usually do 45 minutes. And I look at various questions and answers. So it's interesting to do this comparison. And it's somewhat reassuring to find out that this practitioner does somewhat care about their clients and that some of the answers that they give back to you are true. And it's still quite disconcerting that some of the answers may not be truth, may not be accurate. It's a 50-50. And again, use your discernment for what's your truth and what's not your truth. It's still up to you to know your truth based on the answers that even psychics give you. Might be truth and might not be truth. I guess to each person, it's their own truth and how they process truth, how they process information, whether it's accurate or not. You're still the person who's making the deciding factor, what you resonate with and what you don't as your truth. And what's not your truth. That's so important in these days to know that. So I just wanted to discuss that a little bit in this experience. It's been an interesting experience, and I'm glad that I did this little investigative experiment. Again, I didn't know what this other practitioner would tell my friend and client. I honestly didn't. And that some of the answers would actually collate with the report and the reading that I did for them as, yes, that actually happened. So it's interesting that this other practitioner picked up on that information. Hey, it tracks. It tracks as truth, and it is truth. In that sense, what is true is true. What is not true, it's not true. So use your discernment. Just work with your own intuitive inner guidance system, your inner self. It knows what's truth and what's not. You'll feel it in a gut feeling, what is true to you and what is not. You'll just have this response, yes or no or maybe. We all have these responses in the gut instinct that says, yes, this is true, no, this is not true, this is somewhat in between, this is something to explore as potentially having been a truth of some type, and just doing a bit more digging to see what that is, what the reality is of the answers. And always ask questions, always look for answers. It's a great way of knowing what's going on with yourself. It can be done through psychic readings. You can get questions and answers done through psychic readings, through tarot card readings, through the pendulum, through galactic soul readings, through remote viewing, channeling. You can get answers to questions through so many different psionic ways of doing it that practitioners work with. There's so many different psionic tools and abilities. But always trust your own intuitive gut feelings and responses, because they give you the answers as well. Our bodies are amazing tools. The body is a pendulum in itself. It's a kinesiological tool set. Your body knows what's right, what's wrong, what's truth, what is not truth. It knows that on its own, and it will often tell you what's going on in its responses. And I listen to that carefully. I'm very attuned to my own body, what's going on, and I think others are as well. So I sort of wanted to also touch up on the fact that our body is a natural organic pendulum system. It can tell you yes or no questions and how it reacts. It sort of leans to the right, it's a truth. If it leans to the left, not on truth. If it's neutral, kind of swaying slightly neutrally, then it's not a yes, not a no, but something in between. So you can use your own body as a pendulum system, or you can use a crystal as a pendulum on a metal chain with a little bead on top. You can use a metallic pendulum, crystal one. There's all kinds of different pendulums as well. So I use various methods to test for accuracy and truth in questions and answers, depending on what's going on with the person or the situation. My own psychic abilities as well, but in this case also a pendulum reading about the past life stuff on Mars. Because intuitively I was getting a no that wasn't SSP with my own psychic abilities, but I also wanted to test that with a pendulum to see what the pendulum would say. I mentioned the person's full first last name and I asked, were they in the SSP? And were the Mars experiences SSP or something else? And I got her pendulum gave its own responses for the person. And again, I was neutral. I'm not invested whether the answer is yes or no. I'm invested in what answer the pendulum gives as truth from a neutral stance perspective. So that's why I did a pendulum reading, not just my own psychic reading. Because I want to know the truth. Whatever the pendulum tells me is what the pendulum tells me. I tell the client the results. And in this case, this is not even a client right now. This is something we both agreed to test out to see what the responses would be from this practitioner. So it's coming just from two curious parties wanting to know the answers, the true answers to some of our questions. So it was a very interesting investigation, and it had some very interesting answers. So I'm glad I did this, and thank you so much, and namaste.